I feel like it's been too long since I last listened to the music of Limbus Company. I'm Corey or Everything Fantasy, I'm a music composer, and I had my keyboard in front of me. Today we're listening to Mise en scène, I think it's pronounced. I don't know what to expect. I find it interesting that it's not a boss theme for unless somebody's going to tell me inevitably that it is a boss theme or something. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so far, we're in the key of E flat minor. I know this because of the... And in terms of the feel so far, I get a really strong sense of, okay, there's this disturbing essence that I keep hearing in a lot of Limbus Company pieces of music at this point. The strings, first of all, the strings at the beginning reminded me of that, like, you know, the YouTube, when there's like a YouTube live premiere thing. I don't know why it reminded me of that sound for some reason. If you know what I'm talking about, I think you'll get what I mean. But it was kind of that sort of sound so far. No, I don't have a flute, or in this case, a clarinet loaded in my template, but we have a clarinet, which I don't I feel like this is the first clarinet I've ever heard in a Limbus Company piece of music. This is a really interesting piece. So what do we have so far? We have a few different things going on. So we have the strings, the kind of... But there's also some pizzicato as well that sounds like this. That kind of sound. I will load up a woodwind instrument just for the sake of showcasing this. And of course, the thing I can't forget is it's like I heard a television set kind of sound in the background, like almost like a theater with some voice in the background. I couldn't quite make out what it was saying though. Oh, I really enjoyed that phrase. This sounds weirdly... It feels like I'm reminiscing. That's the word. I feel like I'm reflecting on something that had happened years ago. Like I'm seeing a cutscene of a past memory or something. It reminds me of a piece of music from The Legend of Heroes called The Dream Continues for some reason. Let me try and work out some of that stuff. I'll listen back to it a little bit. So something like this, I think. This feels oddly mellow for a Limbus Company piece. I think I didn't want to check too much about it in advance, but I think I saw it's from Intervallo 7-2. Yeah, no, I'd love to know as always, some context for this. before we get into this next section, I really enjoyed that clarinet phrase. It feels oddly romantic to me as well for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it feels very expressive and kind of, I get the impression of um this being centered around a singular character is what I would imagine. This feels like it's a theme of somebody in a sense. What a fascinating piece of music. That's really, first of all, it's a really nice piece of music. Um, I can see myself wanting to cover. I know it's a bit of maybe an unusual pick to want to cover, but it just sounded so pleasant. But at the same time, we did have the kind of, I'm going to describe it as the Limbus distortion at this point. I'm talking about those phrases that feel slightly disturbing occasionally, like the slight aleatoric strings from time to time that would just kind of come in a bit disturbing, a bit kind of doesn't feel all as what it seems sort of thing. But that was such a lovely piece of music. I'm going to check just to see if the person who submitted this via everythingfantasy.net said anything about it. And I definitely, if you're suggesting something via everythingfantasy.net, definitely feel free to say something about it, and if I notice it, I'll read it out on the video. This and Ordinary Walkway are the story tracks of the latest Intervallo, the Nestic Experience, the same one as Intervallo 7-2 boss battle theme you reacted to earlier this week. That would have been a while ago. I figured these would be interesting because they sound completely different to that boss theme. The only connecting tissue between the two being the camera flash sound effect. Oh, okay, it's more as a camera rather than a TV. Okay, okay. I'd love to know more content as well in terms of how you're supposed to feel while listening to this ultimately, because I feel oddly relaxed in a weird way. Unlike a lot of Limbus Company music I've listened to and reacted to, this feels quite soothing in a sense, but I feel like my soothingness is a little bit misplaced. But I'd love to know your thoughts as always in the comments. And of course, suggest more things to react to as well. Especially stuff from Limbus lately, since I've had a bit of a Limbus absence. Until next time, thanks for watching and take care.